Hey, what's up everyone? Today we'll be playing Metroid Dread for the Nintendo Switch. This is like the fifth game. You'll have to excuse me. I recently lost my voice due to the cold weather and I'm just getting it back, so if it sounds a little scratchy, I apologize, and that's why there is a little bit of a space in between when the next video was put out. But yeah, anyway, I believe this is the fifth one because I believe Metroid Prime, they were prequels, like Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. And then you had Metroid for the NES, which is also Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance was a remake. And then you had Metroid 2, Samus Returns, or The Return of Samus. There's also a Nintendo 3DS remake of that. And then there was Super Metroid, which was Metroid 3 for the Super Nintendo. And then you had Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance, which was Metroid 4. And this is Metroid Dread, which would be Metroid 5. So hopefully, now you know where the story takes place. Let me get started. This is a really cool game. I only have one minor complaint. I think you can't use the D-pad, which, since this is a 2D game, that's kind of weird to me. I hate it when 2D games limit you to using an analog stick. We're going to go to normal mode. This game does not pull punches. This has that old school difficulty. I mean, it's easier than, I'd say, older Metroid games, but probably more difficult than the average game that you're used to playing. I feel like this could have been done with higher production values, considering this is one of Nintendo's main franchises. At least they're giving you backstory, because when did Super Metroid come out? In like 1993? And then I feel like Fusion came out 2003, 2004. So that's a long wait in between sequels. And then I guess Metroid Fusion came out in 2021. Sorry if I'm getting the dates wrong. It's all off the top of my head. Now this is covering Metroid Fusion. Can we just play the game? I'm trying to keep these videos somewhat short. This is basically telling you the whole story of the timeline so far, at least starting with Metroid 1. I can't remember exactly if Prime's a sequel or a prequel, but I'm pretty sure it's a prequel, because Fusion, I feel like Prime existed during the same time as Fusion. They came out around the same time. I feel like Fusion was like the sequel story and Prime was like a prequel story. Plus, they didn't know how the first person perspective was going to work. I would like to play the remastered version of that. I haven't played Metroid Prime since the Nintendo GameCube. I don't remember being crazy about the second one, and I don't think I've ever played the third one or any of the Wii versions. But I do remember really, really liking the first one on the GameCube. I actually owned that one. I wasn't sure how the 3D formula would work, like being a first-person shooter like perspective, but they somehow did. They kind of made everything linear, where it almost felt like a 2D game that was 3D in a first-person perspective. It's hard to explain. Of course, you could move in 3D space, but everything was really tight. So far, I'm not sure if this is the best music for Metroid, but luckily they kept the signature like music tones or themes or whatever. Like, I tried to do like the music, but I'm trying not to have my voice crack. Maybe I can say it like when you're in a ship and it goes bah, 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 bah. It has like those signature like musical like themes and stuff like that. I don't know why I stopped playing this game. It was difficult, but I really liked it still. And now for me to play it again, this is being done real time, by the way, which I guess is impressive for the Nintendo Switch. You really don't see the model up that close often. I remember liking the first Metroid as a kid, but I had no idea how the game worked. Like it was a maze, and you needed this item to get to that space. Like all those genres were like new to me, and maybe fairly new at the time too. I was just used to either a high score game or going left to right. So when I played like the first JRPG or like the first action RPG like Zelda, I was just kind of winging it. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. I just played that game because I liked the atmosphere. Like, I didn't get anywhere in that game. When you're a kid, I guess things amuse you, even if you're not making progress in a game. I have to remember to adjust the colors for the Nintendo Switch. For some reason, when I record them, maybe because I have the settings different, for my TV, it looks really washed out. I felt really bad when I saw that Kirby video and it looked so faded, and I didn't even think to look because I just wanted to look native to like how I was seeing it, and I wasn't thinking that the settings might be different. And instead of looking, I pushed render the video, and then my video was washed out, and I felt like shit. But you know, I was happy a video was out, so I looked it up. Okay, we have a character from Destiny. I feel like with every game, like Samus gets more curves. But let's be fair, like the games are so far apart. Like the graphics were probably rudimentary since the last time she got a game. I think the last Metroid game was the remake of 2. The newest one, of course, is the remastered version of Prime. And then they had the other one made by Team Ninja. I never played it, or that I don't remember playing it. I think it was for the Wii, or maybe the Wii U. I don't know. I never played it. I heard it wasn't really good though. I think it was for the Wii, if I remember correctly. I kind of like the storytelling that isn't verbal in this. It kind of reminds me of those old games like here we called it out of this world, but I know elsewhere it's called Another World, and now they called that game that here. Now here it's called Another World too. It's cool how it looks like a 3D game and it zooms out and you realize, oh, I'm on a 2D plane. I was used to playing a PS5 game, and I just went to go reach for my imaginary thumbstick. This has the analog stick layout of the Xbox 360. Yeah, all the D-pad does right now is enlarge my map. You get used to it though. It's just, I always feel like there's kind of like a little bit of delay because I don't, depending on the game, you know, it has to reach that, the stick has to physically reach that point for it to register, and sometimes on an analog stick it's longer than what it would be on a D-pad. Oh, L's the skinny button on this one. I don't know why they chose that one. I wish they would have chose, I guess, I'm trying to look because I don't use the Switch as much as the PlayStation 2. The fatter trigger buttons are ZL and ZR. I wish they would have used those instead. But this is running at 60 frames per second, or at least it looks like it is, which is nice. It was a slide. This is why I did not start from my save. I think it's jump actually. Is it? What is the combination to make her? This is fucking stupid. Oh, it's forward and L. It told me that before, but I was talking and not really paying attention. Like I did the gesture and I wasn't thinking. I remember the original, you actually had to have graph paper if you didn't have a strategy guide and draw a map on grid paper. If you had that, like, it made the game so much easier, but trying to do it from your like mind, it's not the easiest. Okay. I get thrown off because like in my mind, like the R and L buttons would be the bigger one. Not the small little triggers you can barely feel with your fingers. I don't know why, it feels not natural for me not to duck to do that slide. I heard this game actually looks really good on the Nintendo Switch OLED model.
Uploading data.
I think it looks good no matter what, but since it's an action-based 2D game that's fairly detailed, I will say in portable mode, at least for me, it makes it a little bit more difficult to see. But I love Bayonetta and I feel the same way, but after 5 minutes I get used to it. I imagine I'll be the same with that. I've really mostly only played this game like on dock mode on the TV. Well, that looks delicious. I don't think it's gonna budge. Which one is X on here? Okay, it's equivalent to the triangle button. Ain't start nothing, won't be nothing. Ouch. I gotta remember to counter. That's like a new feature. But then again, I never played Metroid the other end. Maybe that was in Metroid the other end. The one thing apparently that game did right. Okay. I need to counter you. Thank you. I can't stand health alert sounds. I was playing Dead Space earlier and I had to get health desperately, not because I was scared of dying, just because I couldn't deal with like the character's heavy breathing as he was struggling because his health was so low. It was just so irritating. I need to remember to counter. It just doesn't feel like a natural thing at first on a Metroid game. Word. Alright. I think Mercury's team did this. Who did Castlevania Legacy of Darkness? I think that's who did it. I know they did the remake of Metroid 2. I guess that was their practice run. And they also did the 3D Legacy of Darkness Castlevanias. Oh yeah, this is like the Metroid game that tells you exactly where you need to go. That started with Metroid Fusion. I don't mind it though. The challenge is there, you know, just because you know where you need to go doesn't mean you're gonna get there. There we go. I knew there was a stationary aim button somewhere. Well, that looks inviting. It looks like something from the Portal universe, actually. If you heard noises, that was me putting my glasses on. I guess that didn't work. Okay. Okay, we got it. I'm gonna get killed again. Do I have to watch this? Yes. Oh yeah, I think I just gotta run. It's been a minute. I don't think I'm supposed to fight that thing right now. Should you get near that? It kind of looks dangerous. Cool, my Mega Man arm got an upgrade. Omega Bastler online. So hold R to charge. Alright, I'm glad that worked. What was the purpose of that? Just to escape? Oh my goodness. Guess you're not walking away from that. Awesome. I noticed this game has film grain. I wonder if you can even see it on the actual Switch. I have a sneaking suspicion you may not be able to. Well, yes. Well, this is Metroid Dread. I think this is an excellent addition to your Switch library, as well as the Metroid franchise. If this looks good to you, I suggest you try it out. If not, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.